So, how was your race?
Last year, I completed the UTCAM 50K. Before that, I had taken on the 75K. At the time, they were the hardest races I'd ever done, but they also became two of the most rewarding experiences of my life. The mountains were breathtaking, the climbs were relentless, and every time I crossed the finish line, I felt like I had learned something new, not just about trail running, but about myself. When it was all over, one question kept coming back to me. Could I push beyond what I already believed was my limit? There was only one way to find out, so I signed up for UTCAM 120. 125 kilometers through the Mercantour mountains. By far the biggest challenge I'd ever attempted. I wanted to know where my limits really were. Could I keep moving when my body was exhausted? Could I keep making good decisions when my mind wanted to quit? Those questions stayed with me throughout my training. Every race leading up to UTCAM had a purpose. The Riviera Challenge races, Urme pe Plai in Romania with Brownie, the Menton Sun Race, each one was another step toward this start line. At 5 o'clock in the morning, surrounded by hundreds of runners, I stood on the start line. Looking back, I don't think I truly understood what I was about to begin.
Est-ce que vous êtes prêts? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bonne course à tous!
The race started at 5 in the morning. It was still dark. As we left Saint-Martin-Vésubie, we climbed straight into the forest. The only thing I could see was a long line of head torches weaving through the trees. There was almost no talking. I think everyone was wondering the same thing. What was this day going to bring?
1 year has already passed. So here I am again, taking on UTCAM. But this time, my longest race yet, 120K. This one is going to be epic. Come on, let's go.
Despite only sleeping 2 hours, my body actually felt good. Maybe it was the adrenaline. I had promised myself one thing before the race. Don't get carried away.
Already 5K and 1 hour. So this race, it has 120 kilometers and more than 7,000 meters of elevation gain.
In a 120 kilometer race, the biggest mistake you can make is believing you feel stronger than you really are.
Almost 9K and almost 1,000 meters of elevation gain. We are in a forest now on some switchbacks. At 16K, I think it's the first aid station. There is an aid station roughly every 16K. But I have to keep reminding myself to keep it easy and not blow up too fast. So far, it's been alright. I don't know how much it will take me to finish the race. Hopefully less than 30 hours. From the 80K aid station to the finish, I think it's the same course as the 75k that I did 2 years ago, with that big climb at the end. This is going to be one long day. It's the 4th of July and we are in the middle of the heat wave in France. We are expecting 31 degrees during the day. It's going to be interesting.
As dawn broke, we climbed above the trees and into the alpine landscape. The views were unbelievable. Towering peaks stretch in every direction, and for a moment, everything felt effortless. Reaching the top of the first major climb, with more than 1,200 meters of elevation already behind me, felt like the first small victory of the day. But I also knew the race had only just begun.
Finished the first climb and now it's downhill to the first aid station, another 6k.
10 kilometers in, I was feeling exactly how I hoped. Strong, comfortable, in control. Every time I thought about running faster, I reminded myself, you still have an entire day ahead of you. Even in those first few kilometers, my mind wasn't focused on the finish line. It was focused on the next aid station. I was already calculating how much water I needed to drink, how many gels I had to eat, and how many kilometers remained before I could refill my bottles.
Feeling great. Passed the first aid station at 16k, filled everything up with water, and I got also local Coke. It's like Coke with lemon. Quite good.
After the first aid station, the trail dropped into a long technical descent through the forest. It would have been easy to attack the downhill, but that would have been a mistake.
We are at 20k, so another 10k to go to the next aid station, but I have to be careful and not to force the downhill. I don't want to use my quads so early and not be able to run anymore afterwards.
I kept reminding myself that my legs still had more than 100 kilometers to carry me. Every decision I made now would matter later.
It's getting already quite hot outside. You don't want to know how it's going to feel in the afternoon.
Soon, we emerged above the trees once again. Everywhere I looked, there were mountains, layer after layer, stretching as far as I could see.
26k, 4 more k to go to the next aid station. So far I feel quite good, surprisingly good. My legs feel fine, I don't have any cramps, my stomach is all right. Every few minutes I keep doing a checkup on how I'm doing, if I'm still mentally here, because I only slept 2.5 hours last night. It's going to be quite difficult being sleep deprived. I'm really enjoying this day. I've been waiting for a year. This is why we train. This is why we run, to enjoy races like this. I can't believe that it's been 3 years since I started running, and today I'm doing my first 100k, all because of Brownie.
The trail followed a narrow balcony carved into the mountainside, with a steep drop on one side and a rock wall on the other.
I'm really enjoying myself. I was thinking, oh, I could do this all day long, but I really have to do it all day long today, because I'm going to finish, if I'm finishing, only tomorrow. I literally have to do it all day long. It's getting really hot now, but hopefully my past 2 weeks of heat training are paying, and I'm not going to suffer as much as I did on the Menton Sun race. But now the past 2 weeks I did exclusively heat training, going for long runs and then coming back home and going into a hot bath, and stayed for another 20 minutes just sitting in hot water. It was brutal. I think it was better on the long run than just staying 20 minutes in hot water after the run. And also I went out on the bike in the afternoon when it was 34 degrees outside, 1.5 hours cycling in the heat. I hope that today I won't suffer as much.
As I reached Utel, around the 30-kilometer mark, the temperature was climbing fast.
I forgot, I also have sunglasses with me.
This was the moment I prepared for. The descent into the valley changed everything. The air became heavy. The heat reflected off the rocks beneath my feet, and every step felt harder than the last.
35k, 1700 meters of elevation gain, and it's really hot now. Oh my god, it's really hot. I'm sweating like a pig. I'm also drinking a lot. 10 more k to the next aid station. Come on, let's go.
At the bottom, volunteers had set up an unofficial water stop. It couldn't have come at a better time.
There was a impromptu aid station at almost 40k only with water. I would like to jump in the river. Now we have 5k of climbing, about 600 meters of elevation gain.
Ahead of us was another 5-kilometer climb with 600 meters of elevation gain. In that heat, it felt like climbing into an oven. I slowed my pace even more.
44.5k, 2417 meters of elevation gain. I think we are going to reach the aid station in 1k, but this climb was brutal. Oh my god, 1 o'clock in the afternoon now, and it's really hot, like 30 something degrees, I think. It's really hot now. Oh, shade. This climb really kicked my ass. Come on, it's not over yet.
Whenever the trail disappeared into the forest, the shade brought a few moments of relief. Then we stepped back into the open, and the full force of the sun returned. Eventually, I reached Col de la Porte. The aid station appeared almost out of nowhere. After hours of going through the heat, it felt like an oasis in the middle of the desert.
Past this third aid station, I filled everything up with water, ate some watermelon, some crackers, and now I thought that we are going to go downhill, but it turns out that the next aid station is 13 kilometers away, so the climb is not over. I signed up for this, so suffering is part of the adventure.
For the first time that day, my thoughts began to change. I stopped thinking about finishing. Instead, I started thinking about overheating. Every 20 minutes, I checked in with myself. Am I thinking clearly? Am I feeling dizzy? Do I have chills? Is my vision changing? I was making sure I stayed safe enough to keep going. When I finally reached Col de Tourigny, around 11 hours into the race, I knew I needed something more than gels. For most of the day, I had been surviving on liquid nutrition, watermelon and crackers. But at the aid station, I sat down and ate an entire plate of pasta with tomato sauce. It was simple food, but it changed everything. For the first time all day, I felt like I was actually refueling, not just taking in calories, but giving my body something it could recognize.
Merci beaucoup, au revoir. Merci, merci, merci. Still going downhill, now on a wider path. It's really good. These are 3 kilometers. Going nice and steady. I had to say something about the easy kilometers. And now we have a technical downhill that is breaking my legs, my quads, my little quads.
During the descent to La Bolène-Vesubie, I started to notice another problem. The sweat and salt had started causing severe chafing. Every step became more uncomfortable. I knew my loop was waiting for me in my drop bag at 80 kilometers, but that was still far away, so there was nothing to do except keep moving. Sometimes in an ultra you don't solve the problem, you simply accept it and keep going.
Again on a wide path, but I'm not going to say this time that it's easy. I really need to change my t-shirt. It's all wet and crusty from the salt, and I have to apply some lube because I'm chafed up. Come on, let's go.
Philippe, on
Ça
se
va?
parle.
Oui,
Ouais.
ça va?
When I arrived at La Bolène Vesubie, I had a surprise waiting for me. A subscriber named Philippe was there. It was the first time we had ever met. He had come to see me and wish me luck for the rest of the race. After so many hours alone on the trail, that small moment meant a lot. A few words of encouragement from someone who believed I could do this gave me a boost. I refueled, thanked Philippe, and continued.
Past the aid station, another 10k to Roquebillière, and we can change our clothes. And I saw Philippe, subscriber from the channel. He was waiting for me. What a nice guy. Merci Philippe.
But the next climb was waiting.
This little climb between Lantosque and Roquebillière, it's quite punchy. Tired legs.
10 kilometers, 500 meters of elevation gain. And by this point, I was starting to feel the hours in my legs. The climb from Lantosque to Roquebillière seemed to go on forever. I kept looking ahead, waiting to see the village and the aid station.
$80k and 4,000 meters of elevation gain in 15 hours and 25 minutes. We are descending down to Roquebillière, where I can get my drop bag and change for the night. When I started this race, I wanted to get a sub 30-hour finishing time. We will see how the night will go, and maybe I can improve on that time. For the moment, everything hurts. That's normal. I think I can manage until tomorrow morning. Another 40k. What's another marathon after 80k? Let's see.
When I finally arrived, I was exhausted, and honestly, I couldn't get there soon enough. Roquebillière was more than just another checkpoint. It was a reset. I opened my drop bag, cleaned myself with wet wipes, changed my shirt, prepared my night gear, and gave myself a few minutes to reset. Because from this point on, it felt like I was starting a new race.
Change my t-shirt. Now we have 14 kilometers of climbing.
The sun was disappearing behind the mountains, and the hardest part of the journey was still waiting for me.
The night is coming down, and got my head torch on. 14 kilometers, 1000 meters of elevation gain. Let's go. There are fireflies all around me. Let me get closer. Oh. They are quite nice. Haven't seen fireflies in a while.
As darkness settled over the mountains, I left Roquebillière and started the biggest climb of the race. 14 kilometers, more than 1300 meters of elevation gain. The chafing had become unbearable. Every few kilometers, I stopped to reapply lube, hoping for a little relief before carrying on again. Somewhere during that climb, my mind started playing tricks on me. Out of the corner of my eye, I kept seeing animals on the trail. A cat, a dog, a snake, even what looked like a wolf cub. Every single time, it was just another rock. I knew I was hallucinating, but that didn't stop my eyes from seeing them. With about a kilometer left before the summit, I caught up with another runner. His name was Jacques. We started talking, and without really planning it, we stayed together. After spending so many hours alone with my own thoughts, having someone beside me changed everything. Together, we reached the aid station at Relais des Merveilles. I forced myself to eat another plate of pasta, even though my body didn't want it.
Past the last big aid station, and now we are going to climb. Next stop is in 10 kilometers, but until then we have a 1000 meter climb. I'm really tired. I tried to eat some pasta at the aid station. It was difficult, and I ate some watermelon, a little bit of pasta, but not enough. I don't want any more. I drank a Red Bull because water, I cannot stand it. I think I drank about 15 liters today, but I still filled everything up with water. Put my jacket on. It's quite chilly now. Come on. Last big push. Come on. Let's go.
We climbed to 2,500 meters. The air was colder, the night was quieter, and all that remained was the descent. Or so we thought. As we started down, something felt wrong. Neither of us could focus properly on the trail. Our vision had become blurry. The rocks seemed to blend together. We looked at each other and made a decision. For the first time during the race, we stopped. I set a 3-minute alarm on my phone and lay down on the ground beside the trail. 3 minutes. That was all we needed. When the alarm sounded, it felt like someone had pressed a reset button. The fatigue hadn't disappeared. Our legs still hurt, but our minds were clear again. Sometimes, in an ultra, the smarter decision isn't to keep pushing. It's to stop. Just long enough to keep going.
Arriving at the second to last aid station, La Madone des Fenestres. It's been 24 hours and 40 minutes since we started this race. We just took a 3-minute nap on the side of the trail.
As the sun rose over the mountains, it felt like a weight had been lifted. The night was finally behind us. After hours of moving through darkness, simply seeing the trail again gave me a new sense of energy. At the Madone des Fenestres aid station, Jacques and I shared a coffee before setting off once more.
So we passed the aid station, and now we have our last climb of the day. 800 meters of elevation gain, 14 kilometers until the finish line. We are at 25 hours and 40 minutes. I'm with Jacques, and we are staying together We've been together since the climb after Roquebillière. So I'm staying with him. Come.
We still had around 14 kilometers left and one final climb. By this point, every step hurt, but somehow the finish no longer felt impossible.
Bonjour. Unfortunately, last night I didn't see the sunset, and this morning I cannot see the sunrise. We are climbing the last climb. We have done, I think, almost 400 meters of elevation gain, and we still have another 400, about 10 kilometers to the finish line, and that's it. What a long, hard day. 120K is no joke. The night was very hard. I was very sleepy, and also because I only slept 2 hours before the race, the night before the race. This night I started to hallucinate. Jacques also, he said he will stop and sleep for 5 minutes on the side of the path. So I stopped, we both stopped, and we slept about 3 minutes maybe. Let's go.
We climbed steadily toward Mont Piagu, and for the first time that day, the finish line started to feel real.
And the very last climb. Mont Piagu.
Seeing Saint-Martin-Vésubie down in the valley below, a surge of adrenaline rushed through me. I looked at my watch, 28 hours. Before the race, I had hoped to finish in under 30.
For the last few kilometers, I left Jacques. We are at 28 hours and 10 minutes. I will try to break 29 hours. Jacques told me to push ahead, and I'm going to wait for him at the finish line. Come on. 6K, 49 minutes. Come on. Hope I don't break my neck before that. After 125 kilometers, we are back in Saint-Martin-Vésubie. I can hear the announcer speaking at the microphone. What an adventure. What an adventure this was.
A few minutes later, I ran into the streets of Saint-Martin-Vésubie.
UTCAM 120K.
The finish line was right there. I crossed it in 29 hours and 19 minutes.
Done.
It didn't truly sink in until a volunteer placed the finisher's medal around my neck. Only then did I finally believe it. I'd done it. I had finished the UTCAM 120K. Not because I was the fastest, not because everything went according to plan, but because every time the race gave me a reason to stop, I found another reason to keep moving.
So, how was your race?
It was awesome.